Hi all. Everything in my video is pulled from the public domain, and I am using them under the Fair Use, Fair Dealings guidelines. Everything I say is my own opinion. You should look into this information for yourselves, but I'm pretty sure I'm right. Good morning, everybody. Well, I hope everybody enjoyed binge watching the 8 videos that I put up on Rumble while I was temporarily off of YouTube, and we should be completely caught up at this point. So now we just have a few stories to cover today, so let's just jump in with both feet and get going, shall we? Let's go. And we have a lot going on this week. First of all, it's Charles and Camilla's 17th wedding anniversary. Happy anniversary. Hard to believe, but it's the 1-year anniversary of Prince Philip's death already. Look at some of those pictures, man. He's a good-looking man when he was younger. I mean, really. And, of course, we have, I believe it's the 11th wedding anniversary of William and Catherine. And, of course, we all remember these scenes from the wedding, don't we?
Just coming into sight. And a second kiss to delight the crowd.
I mean, this really was the wedding of the century. Now, it's my understanding that Harry and Meghan's wedding cost as much, but they didn't get this kind of turnout. I mean, really, people? This is insane.
A hint of a blush from Prince William.
Anyway, it's been 11 years, 3 children. The two of them, you can just tell that they're best friends and they rely on each other and they're each other's strength and stay, to quote the Queen. I think it's absolutely fabulous. This William, it's a good thing he dated her for like 10 years. You know what I'm saying? He wanted to be sure she's absolutely perfect. And congratulations and happy anniversary to you. All right, this next thing that I'm doing, I don't usually do. I got a information. I got an email from one of my followers. This is her cat. The cat actually is quite ill. Now, of course, before I do something like this, I need proof. She did prove to me that the cat is quite sick. The cat requires thousands of dollars in surgery, and this young lady has started a GoFundMe to try to cover some of the costs. So, if anybody could throw $1, $2 in there, I think that would be great just to help her out. Totally voluntarily, of course. All right, moving on. All right, here we go. Andrew. Now, this was not his doing. Apparently, a black and white portrait of him was included in a charity auction at the Chelsea Art Club. But one member of the art club was so mad that they ripped it right off the wall. Now, the picture was taken by a celebrity photographer and club member called John Stoddard in 2000. And apparently Andrew was in a black polo neck sweater looking at the camera. I mean, this was for charity. It's just to make money. I don't get it. My thought process is if you don't like the photo and you're disgusted, then walk away and don't buy anything. But it's inappropriate, especially when you're trying to raise money for charity, to rip a 21-year-old photo off the wall at an art auction for charity. I'm sorry. Inappropriate behavior. All right, moving on. All right, here we go. Megyn Kelly was talking to Dan Wooten, and she was basically saying that Meghan Markle was playing the victim card. But to be fair, that's pretty much all she's done. So Megyn Kelly brought up the fact that Meghan wants to trademark a 436-year-old word, archetype. And she said, and I'm quoting, she wants to use it in the context of women, Dan. She was talking to Dan Wooten, because she's a champion for female empowerment. So she's going to fight the patriarchy by giving up her entire career, her religion, her country, and her family for a guy. Good call. That's basically what happened. She said that she feels that Meghan's rebrand is just to say, quote, I'm a victim, but she's about as far from a victim as you can get. Dan Wooten brought up the Joe Rogan controversy that was going on and said, oh, goodness me, maybe I'm going to leave Spotify unless they sack Joe Rogan. And obviously Spotify said, hang on, Joe Rogan ain't going anywhere. So in that case, yeah, she's okay with it, because when push comes to shove, she's going to share a platform because she needs the money. Spot on comment. Now, this particular article that you see above pointed out that while she did cause a flap trying to trademark one word, the other detail about her new podcast that should be ringing somebody's alarm bells is the fact that the trailer went virtually unnoticed. The article points out that after 15 months, you finally got a real taste of what they're going to be cranking out as part of this multi-million-dollar deal. Now, the article is also saying that none of the A-list female heavyweights that are supposedly Meghan's friends, like Amal Clooney, Serena Williams, or even Oprah Winfrey, have come out to express their excitement about this project. Nobody is saying anything. Now, the one part of this article that really caught my attention is the part where they basically had a blank canvas. They could come up with whatever they wanted with all the money, resources, seasoned professionals. It was, the boundless parts of their imagination, right, that they could do. But not one single thing, not one thing that they've announced so far, not the books, the podcast, the charitable undertakings, any of it, have moved the dial in any significant way. They are not coming out as the exciting new voices we all thought, but instead as two, quote, overpaid amateur bereft of much of anything in original thoughts. None of the projects that they have rolled out in their now more than 2 years have set the world on fire, much less produced much of a spark. And it says that the documentary that they're currently making about the Invictus Games and Meghan's Pearl, the animated series, have been met with shoulder shrugs. Yeah. Now, this article says exactly what I told you guys all along, that they are on a retainer. So they get between like $1 and $3 million a year, and then they're paid more for the shows they actually produce. And, up until now, they've produced nothing. So they have to prove to Netflix and Spotify and anybody else who might want to hire them that, they can do the work. But no, it's not happening. Listen, the article points out that we need more powerful female voices speaking up, and I agree. But what we don't need is more self-involved, podcast-driven, hosted by someone with a minor in women's studies and a major in self-promotion. Spot on comment. Okay, moving on. They're saying that Meghan and Harry will be at the Invictus Games. It will be Meghan's first time leaving the United States since they ran away from the UK. And they're claiming apparently there's going to be a big surprise. How much you want to bet the surprise is the kids and they're going to wheel them out for photo ops? I've told you guys before, it seems like the only time you see or hear about those kids is when it helps them with publicity and finances. Like, seriously. Now, it appears that Netflix is paying for security. Now, listen, you guys, I have no problem with the Invictus Games. I think these wounded warriors are the best people on the earth. I think it's fabulous. And if Harry would put out some sort of an announcement, or if Netflix would put out some sort of an announcement that the money that's being made by filming it and by putting it on Netflix, that every penny is going to those warriors, I will get behind that 100%. I'll scream it from the rooftops. But as long as I know that Netflix and Harry are lining their pockets off the backs of these people, I don't want anything to do with it. Now, one can only hope that they'll stop in the UK and let the Queen see those kids. Do I think it's going to happen? Absolutely not. But I think the Queen is, she's a smart cookie. Charles is a smart cookie. They know what's going on with the constant attacks. The attack from the James Corden bust. Then there was the attack on Dex Shepard. Then there was the attack with the Oprah interview. Then there's the attack with the Me You Can't See. Now there's going to be another attack with the book. I think the royal family has had enough. I'm so tired of people saying, well, it's his truth. You know what it is? Maybe it is his truth, but it's not the truth. And therein lies the difference. All right, moving on. So this came up. I got it on Twitter. I wish I could remember where I got it because I always like to give credit, but quite frankly, I can't remember. Anyway, as you can see, it's in Dutch. So again, as last time, I had to translate it. And what this article that was printed, where the Invictus Games are going to be, what the article says is that Harry seems to think that the Netherlands would be safer than the UK, but that's actually not true. And the Dutch police will, of course, do their best, but that's probably inferior to the security measures of the UK. So they said the Dutch police will do security assessments and they will liaison with Harry's private security, but it's probably a greater risk for him to go to the Netherlands than to go support the charity. Yes, that's what it says. And FYI, the Dutch police talking about how they're going to liaison with Harry's private team. That's what the UK was doing, and Harry said that wasn't good enough. He needed direct access to any threats. That's why he wants UK protection, armed protection. All right, moving on. Now, let me just say that people are mad about this Invictus trip for several reasons. Number one, because Harry didn't even bother coming to the UK to pay homage to his grandfather, even though the security at that time was better than it ever would have been with all the royalty around. The second problem is that it would appear Harry and Meghan are going to try to use this as a royal tour sort of thing, where they're going to be meeting royalty while they're there. And of course, Meghan's going to try to wow with her clothing, like Catherine did when she was on her tour. And I mean, they're trying to turn it into a whole royal thing, and that's not what it is. I mean, let's face it, if they had gone to to Prince Philip's service of Thanksgiving, they would have been very small fish in a big sea of monarchs and royalty. But since they're going to Invictus, there's no competition. And they can pretend that they're the king and queen. That's exactly what's going on. And we already know that they're going to be followed by the Netflix camera crew the whole time. It's just shocking. Just the behavior is shocking. All right, you guys, this is our big story for today. Serena Williams had a Freedom Mom event in Miami. Now, what this is a group that sells stuff for pregnancy, and it's supposed to be pregnancy support. And there was a panel, and Serena Williams and Chrissy Teigen and all these people, they were all there. And it focused on products aimed at helping new mothers in their postpartum journey. So there were a lot of moms there. It was a large group. They had a I don't know if you want to call it a round table. They had a panel. And in the panel, they were discussing how difficult it is to, live up to the Instagram look of a new mom and to be fair, that is what's going on. A lot of moms feel like failures because they can't keep up with what they think is an image that you're supposed to have right after you've had a baby. And of course, nobody can live up to that image. So the panel focused on the raw reality of pregnancy, being postpartum, and C-sections. Now, Chrissy Teigen opened up about the inaccurate representations of pregnancy, birth, and motherhood on social media. And she said, and I'm quoting, "The way to build confident people and mothers is by being able to commiserate and create a bond. Pooping on the table wasn't talked about, and it's nice to be real, especially after seeing how filtered everything is all the time. Whether it's actually filtering or the filter of words on Instagram that make you think you're the only one that's experiencing something." Now, this took place March 31st in Miami. And you also had Alexis Welch Studemeyer, Lauren Reidinger, Nicole Tuck. There were a lot of famous people. Jeannie Jenkins, Candace Swanepoel. I hope I said that right. There was a lot of people there. So it looks like it was a worthwhile cause. It took place in Miami, which, you can hop on a plane if you're coming from another state. But I guess the big thing is, it really was hosted, from what I can read, by Serena Williams, which means she could invite anybody she wanted. And I found it very interesting that she's supposed to be such good friends with Meghan Markle, and she's being, I believe, unless I'm mistaken, I believe Harry is her mental health coach. She said that Harry, who's himself in therapy and who's having all kinds of psychological problems, is supposedly the one that Serena said, "An hour with him on the phone and it solves all my problems." I think we all know that's not true. But the point is, she didn't invite her. This would have been the perfect event to bring her to. She's a new mom. I'm sure she would have had a lot to say. There's a reason why she was not invited to this particular event. I think it's very telling. Maybe they thought she would take over the event because that's what she does. She has to make herself the center of attention. Anyway, I think it's an excellent thing. It was a worthwhile cause. Good for Chrissy Teigen. Good for Serena Williams. Excellent. Well done. And I wish this had been around. I wish the internet had been around when I had my children. Okay. So lots of information. What do you guys think about the Archetype podcast not really getting a whole lot of attention except for the fact that she used somebody else's work in the trailer? What do you guys think about Harry and Meghan trying to use this Invictus game at The Hague as a royal tour? How many of you want to bet they're going to wheel out those kids as an extra big surprise to try to get people interested in what's going on? And what do you guys think about Serena having that mom event in Miami with all these famous people and Meghan not being invited? I think that speaks volumes. Don't forget to leave those comments below. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. And if you have hit the subscribe button, double check and make sure that you are still subscribed. Very important. Don't forget you can follow me on Twitter. You can follow me on Getter. You can follow me on Rumble. Although if you're on YouTube, yeah. But just in case something happens to YouTube, go find me on Rumble and sign up. For those of you who have donated to my coffee fund, thank you so much. And as always, you guys, have a great day.